Chosen one. You are not hearing these words by accident, and you did not arrive at this moment by chance. Your presence here is evidence that a sealed scroll has begun to open, and heaven has aligned this exact second for you in perfect kairos timing. What feels like interruption is actually invitation. What feels like delay has been divine preparation. Anointed one. Your spirit recognized this call before your mind could explain it. Chosen one, you are standing at the edge of a destined moment. A long, guarded revelation is unlocking, and what was written for you before your birth is pressing forward to be revealed. This is the appointed hour on heaven's clock, the moment when waiting gives way to movement. As Scripture declares in Ecclesiastes chapter 3 verse 1, there is a time for every purpose under heaven, and your time has arrived. Anointed one. This message carries the weight of divine timing. It may unfold today, tonight, or in the coming hours, but the shift has already begun. Like Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 3 reminds us, the vision waits for its appointed time, yet it will surely come and will not delay. Feel the stirring in your spirit, the quiet urgency, the holy anticipation. This is not emotion, it is alignment. Chosen one, receive this as an opening invocation. Prepare your heart, your body, and your spirit to expect transformation, because heaven has paused to speak, and you are chosen to hear it now. Chosen one, hear this slowly, and let it settle beneath the noise of your thoughts. You were never created to blend in, to disappear into routines, or to shrink your calling so others feel comfortable. You were shaped with intention, marked with distinction, and timed for a moment like this. What you are experiencing right now is not coincidence. Heaven is interrupting your ordinary flow because something sealed is beginning to open. This is not pressure. This is precision. God did not pause time for everyone. He paused it for you, anointed one. I need you to understand something I learned only after years of confusion, waiting, and silent battles. God often speaks loudest when everything feels paused. The delays you hated, the seasons where nothing moved, the moments where prayers felt unanswered. Those were not empty gaps. They were hidden chambers where your scroll was being written line by line. I remember seasons where I questioned my own worth, where it felt like everyone else was advancing while I stood still. Looking back, that stillness was not abandonment, it was alignment. Chosen one. God sees what no one else sees. He sees the tears you never explained, the nights you stayed strong, when you wanted to quit the choices you made when no one was watching. Heaven has been recording more than you realize. And now, in this kairos moment, God is saying clearly, you are not behind. You are right on time. The pause was not punishment. It was preparation. There is a reason this message reached you when it did. Not earlier, not later, now. Because something in you is ready that was not ready before. Your spirit has matured, your discernment has sharpened, your heart has softened in ways pride could never achieve. The hidden season did its work. The fire refined you, the silence trained you to listen beyond words. And now the assignment you once could not carry is beginning to activate. Chosen one. Your struggles were not random, they were coded training. The rejection taught you discernment. The delays taught you endurance. The losses taught you where your true strength comes from. Like David in the fields before the throne, you were being trained out of sight, not forgotten, positioned. Scripture says the vision waits for an appointed time, as written in Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 3. That appointed time is not a date on a calendar. It is a condition of the soul. and something in you has now aligned. Anointed One, I speak from lived experience when I tell you this. The moment things begin to shift internally, the external world starts rearranging in subtle ways. Conversations change, opportunities surface unexpectedly. Old doors quietly close without drama. You may already be sensing this. A restlessness mixed with peace, a holy discomfort. That is not anxiety. That is activation. God is breaking chains you outgrew without announcing it. He's opening doors you stopped knocking on because you thought they were closed forever. He's aligning finances, relationships, and direction in ways that feel almost invisible at first. Do not overlook the small confirmations. A thought that will not leave, a word that keeps repeating, a quiet nudge to move differently. These are not random impressions. They are signatures of alignment. Chosen One. This is not a season for hesitation, but it is also not a season for force. It is a season for surrender. Trust does not mean having all the answers. It means moving with clarity even when details are incomplete. God is not asking you to leap blindly. He is asking you to walk attentively, one obedient step at a time. I want you to hear this personally. You are not late. You are not lacking. You are not overlooked. You are becoming, and becoming often feels uncomfortable right before clarity arrives. The hidden scroll is not opening because you proved yourself. It is opening because you endured. Because you stayed soft in a hard season. Because you kept your integrity when compromise would have been easier. Anointed One, let this truth anchor you. Heaven is intervening not to overwhelm you, but to guide you. The pause is lifting. The assignment is activating. And what unfolds next will not look like chaos. It will look like alignment. Stay present. Stay humble. Stay listening. Because what God is unfolding now is only the beginning. Chosen One. There is a reason the weight of this moment feels heavier than usual, yet strangely calm at the same time. When heaven begins to move, it does not rush the soul, it steadies it. What you are sensing is not pressure from outside forces, but confirmation from within. This is the kind of confirmation that arrives quietly like a door unlocking without a sound. I remember seasons where I mistook this feeling for fear, when in truth it was reverence. Your spirit recognizes holy timing, even when your mind tries to analyze it away. Anointed One. The hidden seasons you endured were not meant to break you, but to teach you how to stand without applause. There were moments you showed up faithfully with no visible reward, moments when obedience felt lonely and integrity felt expensive. Those were not wasted years. Those were deposits. Heaven does not rush preparation because what is being entrusted to you carries weight. The pause you experienced was not inactivity, it was calibration. Chosen One. When God begins to activate a sealed assignment, clarity often comes before comfort. You may feel drawn to simplify, to let go of things that once felt important, to protect your peace with more intention. This is not withdrawal, it is refinement. In my own journey, the clearest direction often came right after I stopped forcing outcomes. Surrender did not make me passive, it made me precise. That same precision is forming in you now. There is also something else happening that many do not talk about. When destiny moves closer, distractions lose their grip. Old desires feel hollow. Old patterns lose their appeal. You are not losing passion, you are gaining discernment. Heaven is teaching you how to distinguish between what is urgent and what is eternal. This is how divine alignment feels in real life, subtle, practical, deeply grounding. Anointed One, do not underestimate the power of staying present in this phase. You do not need to announce your next move. You do not need to convince anyone of what God is doing. Silence is not hiding, it is stewardship. Some of the most significant shifts in my life happened quietly, long before anyone else noticed. By the time fruit appeared, the root system was already strong. Chosen One. The intervention you are experiencing is not dramatic, but deliberate. God is adjusting your internal compass so that future decisions feel clearer, not heavier. The confusion that once lingered is beginning to lift, replaced by a steady sense of knowing. This knowing does not shout, it anchors. It allows you to move forward without panic and without delay. Anointed One. You are learning how to trust timing instead of fighting it. This trust does not come from theory, it comes from lived experience. You have seen what happens when you move too early, and you have felt the cost of staying too long. Now you are being taught discernment that only comes through endurance. This discernment will protect you in ways strength never could. Chosen One. The activation of your scroll does not mean everything changes overnight, but it does mean everything begins to align. Small shifts will create larger outcomes. A conversation here, a decision there, a release you did not expect. Pay attention without obsession. Move with intention, without strain. Heaven is not asking you to strive, only to stay responsive. Anointed One. As this part of the journey unfolds, remember that you are not walking it alone. Many who came before you stood exactly where you stand now, uncertain but willing, tired but faithful. They learned as you are learning that divine timing is not about speed, but about sequence. And sequence always leads to fulfillment when followed with humility. Chosen One. Let your heart remain open without becoming heavy, and let your expectations remain alive without becoming anxious. This balance is learned, not taught. It grows through trust built over time. You are doing better than you think, further than you feel, and more aligned than you realize. Stay gentle with yourself as heaven continues its quiet work within you. This moment honors your patience, obedience, resilience, and willingness to keep believing alive. Chosen One. There comes a point in every destined life where movement begins internally, long before anything shifts outwardly, and that point is where you are standing now. This is the stage where faith is no longer theoretical, but embodied, where trust is not spoken, but practiced in ordinary moments. You may notice that your reactions are changing. Things that once triggered you no longer hold the same power. Conversations that once drained you now feel unnecessary. This is not emotional numbness. This is spiritual maturity taking shape. Heaven is teaching you how to conserve your energy for what actually matters. Anointed One. One of the most misunderstood aspects of divine timing is that it often feels anticlimactic while it is happening. We expect thunder, but God often whispers. We expect sudden elevation, but heaven frequently begins with quiet rearrangement. I remember expecting clarity to arrive like a lightning bolt, only to realize later that it came through subtle decisions, consistent obedience, and the courage to say no when saying yes would have been easier. That same pattern is unfolding in your life now. Chosen One. You are being taught how to recognize alignment, not by excitement, but by peace. Peace that does not depend on outcomes. Peace that remains even when circumstances are unresolved. This kind of peace is not passive. It is powerful. It is the sign that your spirit is no longer fighting what your soul already knows. When alignment comes, striving loses its voice. There is also a pruning happening that deserves honesty. Certain relationships may feel distant without conflict. Certain ambitions may lose their urgency without explanation. This does not mean you are failing or retreating. It means God is narrowing your focus. Pruning is not rejection. It is redirection. In my own journey, the moments I resisted pruning were the moments I delayed growth. When I finally released what no longer aligned, space opened for things I could never have forced. Anointed One. The hidden scroll that is opening does not contain noise. It contains clarity. It does not push you to prove yourself. It invites you to trust what has already been written. You may feel a growing conviction to live more intentionally, to speak more carefully, to choose rest without guilt. This is not weakness. This is wisdom forming through experience. Chosen One. Heaven is also recalibrating how you see success. The old metrics no longer fit. You are learning that progress does not always look like acceleration. Sometimes it looks like restraint. Sometimes it looks like waiting even when you could move. This is not stagnation. This is mastery. Those who learn to move only when led avoid unnecessary battles and wasted seasons. Anointed One. The strength forming in you now is quiet but unshakable. It does not need validation. It does not seek attention. It stands firm because it knows who it belongs to. This strength will serve you well in the days ahead, not by making you louder, but by making you steadier. Chosen One. There is a reason you have survived what others could not understand. There is a reason your heart stayed tender when cynicism would have been easier. There is a reason you kept believing even when evidence was thin. These reasons are converging now, not as reward, but as readiness. Anointed One, stay present, stay humble, stay responsive. Do not rush to label what is unfolding. Let it reveal itself in time. Heaven is not finished with you, but it is already pleased with how you have carried yourself through the unseen chapters. This season honors your endurance more than your effort, and that matters more than you know. Chosen One, as alignment deepens, you may begin to notice a new kind of responsibility settling into your awareness. Not pressure, but stewardship. You are becoming more conscious of how your words land, how your presence affects rooms, how your choices ripple beyond yourself. This awareness is not meant to burden you, it is meant to refine you. Influence often arrives before visibility, and integrity must form before expansion. Destiny reveals itself through dramatic opportunities, but more often it reveals itself through consistency, showing up when no one applauds, choosing truth when compromise is available. Guarding your inner life even when no one would notice if you did not. I learned that the most defining moments in my life were not public at all. They happened in private decisions where character was shaped without witnesses. Chosen One, the scroll activating within you carries responsibility because it carries impact. What you are stepping into is not just for personal fulfillment, but for service. That does not mean sacrifice without joy. It means purpose with depth. You are learning how to carry weight without becoming heavy. This balance is rare, and it is being cultivated carefully in you now. Anointed One. You may feel a growing desire to simplify your life, not because you lack ambition, but because clarity demands space. Noise clouds discernment. Hurry dulls wisdom. Heaven is teaching you to slow down internally, even as movement approaches externally. This internal stillness will become one of your greatest strengths. Chosen one. There is also healing taking place beneath the surface that deserves acknowledgement. Old disappointments are loosening their grip. Wounds that once defined your reactions are losing their authority. Healing does not always announce itself. Sometimes it shows up as neutrality where pain once lived. That neutrality is not emptiness, it is freedom. Anointed one, as healing deepens, compassion expands. You may find yourself more patient with others, less reactive, more observant. This is not passivity. This is discernment maturing. You are learning to respond rather than react, to listen rather than assume. These qualities will open doors that force never could. Chosen one, do not be surprised if opportunities begin to align with your values rather than test them. That is a sign of true alignment. When doors open that do not require you to betray yourself, heaven is confirming direction. In my own life, the right doors felt different. They came with peace, not urgency. They invited clarity, not confusion. Trust that feeling when it comes. Anointed one, remember that destiny unfolds in sequence, not all at once. You do not need the full picture to take the next step. You only need clarity for the step in front of you. Obedience at this level is simple but profound. It looks like honesty, consistency, humility, and trust practiced daily. Chosen one. There will always be voices that misunderstand your pace, your silence, your restraint. Let them. Not every season requires explanation. Some require protection. Guard what is forming. Not everything sacred needs to be shared before it is ready. Anointed one, as this chapter continues to unfold, stay grounded in gratitude. Gratitude keeps ambition pure and expectation healthy. It reminds you of how far you have come without turning the journey into a comparison. You are not competing with anyone else's timeline. You are honoring your own. Chosen one. Heaven's pause was never absence. It was intention. And that intention is now shaping you into someone who can carry what is coming with wisdom, humility, and strength. Stay aligned, stay open, stay faithful. What is unfolding honors every unseen step you took to arrive here. Chosen one. There is a deeper layer of awareness beginning to surface now, one that reshapes how you understand responsibility, not as burden, but as alignment. You may notice that you are becoming more selective with your time, your energy, and even your thoughts. This is not withdrawal from life. This is discernment maturing. When God entrusts someone with greater clarity, He also teaches them restraint. I learned this the hard way through seasons of overextending myself, confusing availability with obedience. What changed everything was realizing that not every good thing is a God thing for this season. Anointed one, heaven is teaching you how to listen beneath surface noise. You're learning to recognize when something is simply appealing versus when it is appointed. Appointed things carry peace even when they stretch you. Appealing things excite you but leave you restless. This distinction is becoming clearer now, and it will save you years of unnecessary detours if you honor it. Chosen one. There is also a refinement happening in how you see yourself. The need to explain, to justify, to prove is slowly dissolving. This does not come from indifference, it comes from security. When identity settles, performance loses power. You no longer feel compelled to convince others of what God is doing in you. You allow fruit to speak in its own time. This shift may feel subtle, but it marks a profound internal change. Anointed one. One of the quiet signs of alignment is when comparison fades. You still notice others, but you are no longer measuring yourself against their pace or their path. You understand intuitively that destiny is not a race, but a sequence. In my own journey, comparison delayed peace more than any external obstacle. The moment I released it, clarity increased almost immediately. That same release is taking place within you now. Chosen one, the pause you experienced trained you to survive without constant reassurance. That skill will serve you well going forward. There will be moments ahead when direction feels clear, but affirmation is sparse. Do not mistake silence for absence. Heaven often watches how you steward confidence when no one is clapping. The strength you are building now is internal, and it will not collapse under pressure later. Anointed one, you may also notice that your prayers are changing. They are becoming less frantic, less desperate, more intentional. You are no longer asking God to fix everything at once. You are inviting Him to guide you step by step. This is maturity. This is trust, rooted in relationship, not urgency. Chosen one. There is something deeply important about this phase that cannot be rushed. You are learning how to carry authority without force. Authority does not shout. It does not rush. It does not demand recognition. It stands quietly, knowing it does not need to be defended. This kind of authority comes only through experience, through obedience tested over time. Anointed. One, be mindful of how you speak about yourself in this season. Words shape perception, and perception influences direction. Speak with humility, but do not diminish what God has done in you. There is a difference between pride and acknowledgement. Honoring growth does not make you arrogant. It makes you honest. Chosen one. The unfolding ahead will require wisdom more than speed. There will be choices that look right on the surface but feel wrong in your spirit. Trust that signal. Discernment often speaks as discomfort before logic catches up. I ignored that voice once, thinking discipline would override intuition. It cost me time. You do not need to repeat that lesson. Anointed. One, heaven is not asking you to be perfect. It is asking you to be responsive. When correction comes, receive it without shame. When confirmation comes, receive it without pride. Balance keeps alignment intact. You are learning that now in real time. Chosen one, as this season deepens, remain grounded. Do not romanticize the future or despise the present. Both are sacred. What you are living now is not a waiting room. It is preparation with purpose. And that purpose is shaping you quietly, thoroughly, faithfully. Chosen one. There is a moment that arrives in every aligned life where trust becomes less about belief and more about posture. You are entering that moment now. Trust is no longer something you think about. It is something you live from. Your decisions, reactions, and expectations are beginning to reflect confidence in divine timing rather than fear of missing out. This shift does not happen overnight. It happens through repeated surrender in small moments, and you have been practicing that longer than you realize. Anointed one. One of the signs that alignment is settling in is when urgency loses its grip. You still care deeply. You still move intentionally, but you no longer feel rushed by imagined deadlines or external pressure. You understand that what is meant for you will not require panic to reach. In my own life, this was the moment peace finally outpaced ambition, and when that happened, direction became clearer. Chosen one, you are also learning how to hold hope without attaching it to timelines. Hope grounded in trust does not demand immediate results. It rests in certainty that what is unfolding is meaningful even when incomplete. This kind of hope steadies the soul. It keeps you present rather than constantly reaching ahead. Presence is powerful. It allows you to recognize divine movement as it happens, not only in hindsight. Anointed One. There may be moments now where you feel both strong and tender at the same time. Do not see this as contradiction. It is integration. Strength without tenderness becomes rigid. Tenderness without strength becomes fragile. Heaven is shaping both in you simultaneously. This balance will allow you to lead, influence, and serve without losing yourself in the process. Chosen One, as clarity increases, responsibility follows. But this responsibility will not crush you because it is matched with grace. You are not being asked to carry what you cannot sustain. God is teaching you to pace yourself according to wisdom, not pressure. You may feel drawn to rest more intentionally, to protect quiet moments, to step back when your spirit signals fatigue. This is not regression. This is stewardship. Anointed One, pay attention to how peace now functions as confirmation. When something aligns, it does not agitate your spirit, even if it challenges you. When something is misaligned, it may excite your ego, but unsettle your core. This internal compass has been refined through experience. Trust it. It will guide you more accurately than external opinions. Chosen One. You are also stepping into a season where influence begins to expand naturally, not through effort, but through consistency. People notice stability. They notice clarity. They notice when someone moves without chaos. This quiet influence is often more powerful than visibility. It invites trust rather than demands attention. Anointed One, remain mindful that growth does not exempt you from humility. In fact, true growth deepens it. The more you understand, the more patient you become with others who are still learning. This patience is not condescension, it is compassion born from experience. You remember what it felt like to not know, to doubt, to struggle. That memory keeps your heart open. Chosen One. There will be days ahead that feel ordinary. Do not dismiss them. Ordinary days are where alignment is practiced, not just declared. Faithfulness in routine creates resilience in transition. What you do consistently now will support you when change accelerates later. Anointed One, stay connected to what grounds you. Gratitude, reflection, stillness. These are not optional extras. They are anchors. They keep you centered as momentum builds. Without them, progress becomes disorienting. With them, progress becomes sustainable. Chosen One. You are not waiting for permission to become who you are meant to be. You are already becoming through each aligned choice, each surrendered moment, each act of trust. Heaven's timing is not distant. It is active. And you are participating in it now, fully, faithfully, and with growing clarity. Chosen One. There is a quiet recalibration happening now that may be difficult to name, but easy to feel. It shows up in how you respond to uncertainty with steadiness rather than panic, and how you no longer chase clarity, but allow it to meet you. This is not passivity. It is confidence formed through endurance. You are no longer proving faith. You are living from it. And living faith looks far less dramatic than imagined, but far more powerful in effect. Anointed One, you may notice that your inner dialogue has softened. The harsh self-correction, the constant pressure to do more or be more, is slowly being replaced by discernment. Discernment does not shame. It guides. It corrects without crushing. In my own journey, this shift marked the moment I stopped fighting myself and started working with what God was shaping within me. That cooperation accelerated growth more than striving ever did. Chosen One Heaven is also teaching you how to remain grounded while momentum builds. There is a temptation when things begin to align to rush ahead mentally, to live in anticipation rather than presence. But presence is where wisdom operates. When you stay present, you notice subtleties others miss. You recognize timing cues. You hear instruction clearly. This attentiveness is being refined in you now. Anointed One, you are learning that not every open door requires immediate action. Some doors open simply to show you what is possible, not what is required yet. This understanding will protect you from premature movement. It will allow you to prepare without pressure, to plan without attachment. Timing is not just about when to start, but when to wait even after permission appears. Chosen One, your emotional resilience is also strengthening. You recover faster from disappointment. You no longer spiral over misunderstandings. You process without losing your center. This is not emotional detachment. It is regulation born of trust. When you trust that your life is held, setbacks lose their power to define you. Anointed One, there is something deeply stabilizing about knowing you are not responsible for controlling outcomes. You are responsible for obedience, integrity, and responsiveness. Release the rest. When I finally understood this, a significant weight lifted. I stopped confusing effort with effectiveness. The same clarity is emerging for you now. Chosen One, as alignment deepens, you may find that your standards shift. You become less tolerant of environments that drain you, conversations that distort truth, or habits that dull awareness. This is not judgment. It is self-stewardship. What you carry requires care. What is forming in you deserves protection. Anointed One, remember that growth is not always visible, but it is always active. Even on days that feel still, something is being strengthened within you. Patience is not passive waiting, it is active trust. And trust, when practiced consistently, produces clarity without force. Chosen One, stay faithful to the small disciplines that anchor you. Reflection, honesty, stillness. These are not placeholders until something bigger happens. They are the foundation that makes expansion sustainable. What you are becoming is being built from the inside out, and that work is steady, intentional, and deeply rooted. Chosen One, there is a growing sense now that you are no longer merely responding to life, but engaging it with intention. This does not mean everything is predictable or controlled. It means you are less reactive and more discerning. You pause before you speak. You observe before you act. This pause is not hesitation. It is wisdom integrated into movement. Anointed One, you are beginning to understand that alignment does not remove challenges, it reframes them. When challenges arise now, they no longer feel like signs you are off course. They feel like confirmations that growth is occurring. Resistance often increases near transition, not because something is wrong, but because something is changing. Chosen One, your confidence is becoming quieter but more stable. You no longer need external affirmation to validate internal truth. You know who you are becoming even when circumstances lag behind. This confidence does not isolate you. It grounds you. It allows you to listen openly without losing direction. Anointed One, there is also a deepening respect forming within you for timing that cannot be rushed. You are less tempted to force clarity or manufacture outcomes. You understand now that some things unfold only when readiness meets opportunity, and readiness cannot be hurried without consequence. Chosen one. The lessons you are integrating now will serve you well later, especially when movement accelerates. You are learning to remain centered under pressure, humble under success, and steady under uncertainty. These traits are not accidental. They are cultivated through seasons exactly like this one. Anointed one, do not underestimate how far you have come, simply because the destination is not fully visible yet. Progress is often most significant when it feels internal. What is being established now is stability that will not collapse when conditions change. Chosen one, your capacity to hold both hope and realism is expanding. You are no longer naive, but you are not cynical. You see clearly without losing faith. This balance is rare and valuable. It allows you to engage the world without being consumed by it. Anointed one, continue to trust the quiet confirmations, the subtle peace, the gentle clarity, the steady direction. These are signs of alignment far more reliable than sudden emotion or external validation. Heaven often confirms through consistency, not spectacle. Chosen one, as you move forward, remember that your role is not to rush the unfolding, but to remain faithful within it. Each aligned choice matters. Each moment of trust compounds. You are not standing still, you are standing firm. And standing firm is often what allows the next movement to arrive without resistance. Anointed one, remain open, grounded, and attentive. What is forming now is preparing you not just to receive what is ahead, but to sustain it with wisdom, humility, and strength. Chosen one. There is a subtle but unmistakable shift happening now in how you perceive your own life, as if the lens you once looked through has been quietly replaced. Things you once interpreted as failure are beginning to reveal themselves as protection. Detours that frustrated you now appear as necessary delays that kept you from paths that would have cost you more than you realized at the time. This awareness does not come from optimism. It comes from perspective earned through endurance. You're not rewriting your past, you're finally understanding it. Anointed one. One of the most liberating realizations in this stage is recognizing that not everything that hurt you was meant to harm you. Some things were meant to teach you discernment. Some people were meant to expose boundaries you did not know you needed. Some endings were required so your identity could separate from environments that no longer reflected who you were becoming. I did not understand this until years later, when I saw clearly that what I once begged God to remove was the very thing that prepared me to carry what I prayed for next. That same clarity is beginning to form in you now. Chosen one. Your relationship with uncertainty is changing. You're no longer trying to eliminate it. You are learning how to live faithfully within it. This is not resignation. This is maturity. Faith that requires certainty is fragile. Faith that can coexist with unanswered questions is resilient. You are developing the kind of trust that does not collapse when plans shift or timelines stretch. This trust steadies you rather than excites you, and that steadiness will anchor you through future transitions. Anointed one, you may notice that your inner life has become more honest. You no longer suppress doubt or force positivity. You acknowledge what you feel without letting it rule you. This emotional honesty is not weakness. It is alignment. When you stop pretending, you create space for real healing. When you stop performing, you allow truth to guide you. This authenticity is part of your preparation, not a detour from it. Chosen one heaven is also reshaping how you define success. It is becoming less about arrival and more about integrity, less about visibility and more about impact, less about accumulation and more about alignment. You are learning that a life well lived is not measured by how much you achieve, but by how faithfully you walk through each season. This shift will protect you from chasing things that look impressive but feel empty. Anointed one, there is a growing clarity in how you recognize what belongs in your life and what does not. You are no longer trying to make everything fit. You allow misaligned things to fall away without drama. This discernment is not cold, it is compassionate. It understands that not everyone who walks with you is meant to walk with you forever. Release is not rejection. It is respect for timing, both yours and theirs. Chosen one, your patience is becoming more intentional. You are not waiting passively for something to happen. You are actively preparing your character to sustain what is coming. Patience now looks like consistency. It looks like showing up fully in small responsibilities. It looks like choosing integrity when shortcuts appear. These choices may feel ordinary, but they are quietly shaping your future capacity. Anointed one, you are also learning how to hold gratitude without denying struggle. You no longer feel the need to pretend everything is fine in order to be faithful. You understand that gratitude and honesty can coexist. You can acknowledge difficulty while still recognizing provision. This balance keeps your heart open without becoming naive. Chosen one, there is a deepening sense of ownership emerging in how you engage your life. You no longer see yourself as a passive participant waiting for direction. You see yourself as a steward responsible for how you respond to what is entrusted to you. This does not mean controlling outcomes. It means honoring choices. Stewardship brings purpose into even the smallest decisions. Anointed one. As this awareness grows, your confidence becomes more grounded. You are less concerned with how you appear and more committed to how you live. This confidence is not loud. It does not need reinforcement. It stands quietly because it is rooted in clarity rather than approval. People may notice it, but you are no longer living for that notice. Chosen one, you are also becoming more comfortable with your own pace. You no longer feel pressured to match the speed of others. You understand intuitively that your timing is specific, not comparative. This acceptance frees you from unnecessary tension. It allows you to move fully when it is time and rest deeply when it is not. Anointed one. There may still be moments of doubt, moments where questions resurface. Do not be alarmed by this. Doubt does not cancel alignment. It often accompanies growth. What matters is that doubt no longer controls your direction. It passes through rather than settling in. That is progress. Chosen one. The integration happening now is quiet but significant. You are aligning belief with behavior, hope with practice, faith with discipline. This integration creates stability that does not collapse under pressure. It prepares you not just to receive what is ahead, but to carry it with wisdom and humility. Anointed one, remain attentive to the small confirmations, the sense of peace after a difficult decision, the clarity that follows an honest conversation, the relief that comes when you choose rest over striving. These moments are markers of alignment. They indicate that heaven is not distant, but actively involved in your formation. Chosen one. You are not standing at the edge wondering if something will happen. You're standing within a process that is already happening. Each day you show up with integrity, awareness, and trust. You participate in that unfolding. Nothing about this is wasted. Nothing about this is accidental. This moment honors the long road you have walked, the lessons you have learned, and the strength you have developed quietly over time. I, chosen one. There is a deeper steadiness settling into you now, one that does not come from having everything figured out, but from knowing you no longer need to. This is a turning point that many never reach, because it requires releasing the illusion of control without losing responsibility. You are learning how to hold your life with open hands instead of clenched fists. That posture changes everything. It allows guidance to arrive without resistance and direction to unfold without force. Anointed one. One of the clearest signs of this stage is that you are no longer fighting your own becoming. There was a time when growth felt uncomfortable because it demanded change before clarity. Now clarity is catching up to change. You understand why certain versions of you had to end, why certain seasons could not last, why some prayers were answered with silence instead of solutions. That silence was not neglect. It was refinement. Hey, chosen one. You may notice that your sense of identity is no longer tied to roles, outcomes, or recognition. You know who you are, even when nothing external confirms it. This is not detachment from life. It is grounding within it. When identity stabilizes internally, external shifts no longer threaten it. This stability is rare, and it is being formed intentionally within you. Anointed one, there is also a growing respect in you for process. You no longer rush transformation or resent slow progress. You understand now that depth cannot be hurried. In my own journey, the moments I tried to accelerate growth only revealed how much I still needed patience. You are learning that patience is not delay, it is alignment with sequence. Sequence matters because it preserves integrity. Chosen. One heaven is also reshaping how you relate to effort. You still work diligently, but you no longer equate effort with worth. You know when to apply discipline and when to release control. This discernment protects you from burnout and bitterness. It keeps your motivation clean and your focus clear. You are learning how to be faithful without being frantic. Anointed one, your relationship with fear is changing as well. Fear may still appear, but it no longer dictates movement. You acknowledge it without surrendering to it. This is not bravado. It is courage refined through experience. Courage now looks like consistency rather than impulsiveness. It looks like showing up steadily rather than making dramatic moves. Chosen one. You are also becoming more aware of how deeply interconnected your inner life and outer world are. When your thoughts settle, your environment responds. When your intentions clarify, opportunities align. This is not mystical thinking. It is the natural result of coherence between belief and behavior. Alignment produces momentum without strain. Anointed one. There is a humility forming in you that is not self-diminishing, but self-aware. You recognize your strengths without exaggeration and your limitations without shame. This balance makes you teachable even as you grow confident. It allows wisdom to deepen without pride interrupting it. True authority is always paired with humility. Chosen. As this season continues, you may feel less compelled to seek advice from many voices. Not because you know everything, but because you trust discernment developed through experience. You listen carefully, but you filter wisely. This discernment protects you from confusion and comparison. It allows guidance to land without distortion. Anointed one. You are also learning how to navigate disappointment without letting it erode hope. Disappointment no longer sends you into self-doubt. It becomes information rather than indictment. This shift changes how quickly you recover and how clearly you adapt. Resilience is no longer something you force, it is something you embody. Chosen one. There is a growing awareness that your life is not defined by singular moments, but by cumulative choices. You see how small decisions compound over time. This awareness empowers you. It reminds you that alignment is maintained daily, not declared once. Each choice to remain honest, grounded and responsive matters. Anointed one. You may feel a stronger pull toward authenticity, now not just in words, but in lifestyle. You are less interested in appearances and more committed to truth. This authenticity simplifies your life. It reduces internal conflict. It frees energy that was once spent managing perception. That energy is now available for purpose. Chosen one. There is also a deepening appreciation for stillness forming within you. Stillness no longer feels unproductive. It feels necessary. You understand now that clarity often arrives after quiet, not activity. This appreciation will serve you well when movement accelerates because it will keep you grounded even as momentum increases. Anointed one. Your vision of the future is becoming more realistic without losing inspiration. You no longer imagine perfection. You imagine alignment. You see challenges as part of the path, not deviations from it. This perspective keeps expectation healthy and effort sustainable. Chosen one. As you integrate these lessons, your presence itself becomes stabilizing. Others may sense it without knowing why. Calm does not need explanation. Integrity does not need advertisement. You are becoming someone whose life communicates trust through consistency rather than persuasion. Anointed one, remain attentive to the ordinary days. They are shaping you more than dramatic moments ever could. Faithfulness practiced quietly builds a foundation that does not crack under pressure. What you are becoming is not fragile, it is formed. Chosen one. You are not standing at the edge waiting for something to begin. You are already walking within it. This chapter is not a prelude, it is participation. Each moment you choose awareness over reaction, trust over control, and alignment over urgency, you move forward in ways that matter. Anointed one, continue to walk with patience, clarity, and humility. You do not need to rush what is unfolding. You do not need to fear missing it. What is meant to meet you will do so in the right order, at the right pace, with the right preparation already in place. Chosen one. There is a refinement happening now that reaches deeper than behavior and touches intention itself. You are becoming more aware, not just of what you do, but why you do it. Motives are clarifying. Desires are being examined without condemnation. This is not self-judgment. This is self-understanding, and it marks a significant stage of maturity. When intention becomes clean, direction becomes steady. Anointed one. You may notice that your internal compass feels more reliable than it once did. Where you once second-guessed every decision, you now sense a quiet confirmation when something aligns and a gentle resistance when it does not. This discernment did not arrive suddenly. It was built through repetition, through moments of choosing integrity, when shortcuts tempted you through learning from outcomes without letting regret define you. This wisdom is earned, not given lightly. Chosen one. There is also a growing sense of responsibility for your inner climate. You are realizing that peace is not something you wait for circumstances to provide. It is something you cultivate through boundaries, reflection, and honest self-awareness. When peace becomes a practice rather than a reaction, it stabilizes every area of life. This stability allows you to engage challenges without being consumed by them. Anointed One. The way you relate to others is shifting as well. You listen more carefully, you speak more intentionally, you are less interested in being right and more committed to being clear. This change is subtle, but it transforms relationships. It reduces conflict without avoidance. It creates understanding without compromise. This is not people-pleasing. It is wisdom expressed through restraint. Chosen One, you are also learning how to honor your limits without guilt. You recognize that rest is not retreat and that saying no can be an act of faith. There were times when you pushed past exhaustion believing it was dedication. Now you understand that sustainability requires discernment. This understanding protects your energy and sharpens your focus. It allows you to give fully without emptying yourself. Anointed One. One of the quiet strengths forming in you now is patience with process. You are less tempted to rush resolution or demand clarity before it is ready. You trust that understanding unfolds at the pace it needs to. This patience does not dull ambition, it refines it. It keeps your goals aligned with reality rather than fantasy. It grounds hope in wisdom. Chosen One. There is also a deepening honesty in how you assess progress. You no longer measure growth by comparison or external milestones. You measure it by internal consistency. Are you responding with integrity? Are you choosing alignment over convenience? Are you remaining present rather than reactive? These questions guide you now more than outcomes ever did. Anointed One. Your resilience is becoming more embodied than conceptual. You do not talk about strength. You demonstrate it through steadiness. When disappointment arises, you acknowledge it without dramatizing it. When success appears, you receive it without inflating it. This balance keeps you grounded regardless of circumstance. It allows you to move through life without being thrown off center. Chosen One. There is a subtle but powerful shift happening in how you view your past. It no longer feels like a series of mistakes or missteps. It feels like a training ground. You see how each experience shaped discernment, empathy, and wisdom. This reframing does not erase pain. It redeems it. It allows gratitude to coexist with grief without conflict. Anointed One, as clarity deepens, you may feel less urgency to define yourself to others. You are comfortable letting consistency speak over time. This does not mean withdrawal. It means trust in process. You know now that authenticity cannot be rushed and credibility cannot be forced. Both are built quietly through lived alignment. Chosen One. The integration taking place now is subtle but profound. Thought and action are aligning. Values and behavior are converging. This integration reduces internal friction. It frees mental and emotional energy that was once spent navigating contradiction. That energy is now available for creativity, service, and intentional living. Anointed One, you are also becoming more attentive to the quality of your attention. You notice where your focus goes and how it affects your state. You choose more intentionally what you give your mind and heart to. This awareness protects clarity. It prevents unnecessary overwhelm. It keeps your inner life ordered even when external life is complex. Chosen One, remain gentle with yourself as this refinement continues. Growth at this level is quiet and often invisible, but it is foundational. It strengthens what will be built upon it. You are not drifting, you are deepening, and depth creates stability that cannot be shaken by surface changes. Anointed One, continue to honor this phase without rushing past it. What is forming now is not meant to impress. It is meant to last. Chosen One. There is a quiet convergence happening now between who you have been becoming and how you are beginning to live. This convergence does not announce itself with noise or spectacle. It settles gently like clarity that no longer needs confirmation. You are discovering that alignment is not a destination you reach, but a way of moving through each day with awareness, intention, and trust. This realization changes how you hold both success and uncertainty. Neither overwhelms you anymore. Anointed One, you may sense that your internal rhythm has shifted. Where there was once tension between desire and patience, there is now cooperation. You still want deeply, but you no longer demand immediacy. You still plan, but you no longer cling. This balance did not come from discipline alone. It came from experience, from learning that forcing outcomes creates resistance, while honoring timing creates flow. That wisdom is now embedded in how you move. Chosen One. One of the most meaningful changes in this phase is how you respond to moments that once would have unsettled you. Silence no longer feels threatening. Waiting no longer feels empty. You are comfortable being present without needing constant reassurance that something is happening. This comfort is not complacency. It is confidence rooted in trust. You know now that movement does not always look like activity. Sometimes it looks like stability. Anointed One, you are also becoming more conscious of how your inner alignment affects others. Without trying to lead you steady rooms, without trying to persuade you create safety. People may not know why they feel at ease around you, but you do. It is the result of coherence between what you believe, what you value, and how you behave. Integrity has a presence. It communicates before words ever do. Chosen One. As this awareness grows, your sense of responsibility becomes clearer but lighter. You understand now that you are accountable for your choices, not for controlling results. This distinction frees you from unnecessary burden. It allows you to engage fully without carrying weight that was never yours to hold. Responsibility becomes an expression of stewardship rather than pressure. Anointed One, there is also a deeper compassion emerging in you, not just for others, but for yourself. You no longer replay mistakes with the same intensity. You extract the lesson and release the judgment. This self-compassion does not lower your standards, it sustains them. It allows you to keep growing without becoming rigid or harsh. Growth supported by compassion lasts longer than growth driven by fear. Chosen One. Your relationship with effort continues to evolve. You still value diligence, but you are learning when effort adds value and when it creates friction. There are moments now when restraint is more powerful than action. Moments when listening accomplishes more than speaking. This discernment is subtle, but it is one of the clearest signs of maturity. It reflects trust in timing rather than anxiety about outcomes. Anointed One, you may also notice that your imagination is becoming more grounded. You still envision meaningful futures, but those visions are now paired with realism. You understand the cost of what you desire, and you are willing to grow into the capacity required to sustain it. This realism does not diminish hope. It anchors it. It transforms dreaming into preparation. Chosen One. There is a new steadiness in how you relate to external change. Shifts in circumstances no longer disrupt your center. You adapt without losing yourself. This adaptability is not flexibility without conviction. It is conviction expressed through wisdom. You know what matters, and because of that clarity, you can adjust what does not. Anointed One, as alignment deepens, your intuition becomes quieter but more reliable. It does not rush you or alarm you. It guides you calmly, consistently. You trust it not because it is dramatic, but because it has proven faithful over time. This trust allows you to move with confidence even when the path is not fully visible. Chosen One, you are also becoming more selective with what you allow to shape your perspective. You recognize that not every voice deserves equal weight. This selectivity is not isolation. It is discernment. It protects clarity. It keeps your inner life ordered so that your outer life can remain responsive rather than reactive. Anointed One, the way you experience fulfillment is changing as well. Fulfillment is no longer postponed to a future moment. It is found in alignment itself, in knowing that you are living consistently with your values, in recognizing that your actions reflect your beliefs. This kind of fulfillment is quiet, but it is durable. It does not depend on external validation to exist. Chosen One, there is also a growing sense of gratitude that feels less emotional and more integrated. You are grateful not only when things go well, but when they teach you. Gratitude has become a lens rather than a reaction. This lens allows you to see meaning where others see inconvenience. It sustains perspective when circumstances fluctuate. Anointed One, you are learning how to carry hope responsibly. Hope no longer demands certainty. It coexists with realism. It inspires movement without denying complexity. This mature hope strengthens resilience rather than creating fragility. It allows you to keep moving forward without pretending the path is simple. Chosen One, as this chapter continues to unfold, you may notice fewer internal conflicts. Not because life is easier, but because you are more aligned. Decisions feel clearer. Boundaries feel more natural. You are not negotiating with yourself as often. This internal coherence is one of the greatest gifts of alignment. Anointed One, remain attentive to this integration. It is easy to overlook because it feels natural once it settles. But it represents significant growth. You're not becoming someone new. You're becoming more fully who you already are. That distinction matters. Chosen One, honor the steadiness you are building. It will support you in moments of acceleration. Honor the clarity you are cultivating. It will guide you through complexity. Honor the patience you have learned. It will protect you from unnecessary detours. Anointed One, you are not waiting for life to begin. You are living it with intention now. Each aligned choice strengthens the foundation beneath you. Each moment of trust reinforces the direction ahead. This is not a pause before purpose. This is purpose expressed through presence, consistency, and faithfulness in the unfolding moment. Chosen One, as this message comes to rest within your spirit, receive this moment with reverence. What you have heard was not random, and what you have felt was not imagined. A sealed prophecy is opening, a hidden scroll is being revealed, and you are standing in your exact Kairos moment, the divinely appointed hour written for you on heaven's clock. This is not an ending. This is an activation. Anointed One, heaven has confirmed what your spirit already knew. What was delayed has not been denied. What was hidden has not been forgotten. God has been restoring in silence, aligning in stillness, and preparing you in ways only eternity could orchestrate. Now you step forward not striving but aligned, not chasing but receiving, not fearful but anchored in trust. Carry this moment with gratitude. Stay faithful to the quiet instructions. Remain sensitive to the flow of the anointing. Watch with expectation as doors open naturally, as provision meets purpose, and as peace confirms every step ahead. What is about to manifest will not require force, only obedience and trust. Chosen one. If your spirit bears witness to this word, seal it with a simple act of faith. You may leave a quiet declaration in the comments, or remain in stillness and gratitude before God. Stay connected, stay aligned, and walk forward, knowing heaven has already gone before you. Your time has come, and what unfolds next will testify that God never pauses without purpose.